Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. Real estate can often feel overwhelming, especially when you encounter legal terms and concepts that aren't easy to understand. In today's video, we'll break down some of the most important property-related terms used in the United States, explain what they mean and why they're so important. Whether you're buying, selling, or just curious about property law, this video is for you. Let's get started. Real property versus personal property. Let's begin with the basics. Real property and personal property. Real property refers to land and anything permanently attached to it, like buildings, structures, or natural resources such as minerals and water rights. Personal property, on the other hand, includes movable items such as furniture, vehicles, and even intangible assets like stocks or bonds. The distinction is important because the legal rules for transferring ownership, taxation, and use are different for these two types of property. For example, when buying a house, you're dealing with real property, but when selling furniture within that house, it falls under personal property. Fee simple. Now let's talk about fee simple ownership. This is the most complete and absolute form of property ownership in the US. If you own property in fee simple, you have the indefinite right to use, sell, lease, or even pass the property on to your heirs. However, even with fee simple ownership, there are restrictions. These might include zoning laws or rules from a homeowners association. Essentially, fee simple ownership provides full control, but always within the boundaries of local laws and regulations. Easement. Next, we have easements, which are legal rights allowing someone to use another person's property for a specific purpose. For example, if your property has power lines running through it, the utility company likely has an easement to access and maintain those lines. Easements are important because they affect how you can use your property. They don't give the other party ownership, but they do limit your ability to exclude others from certain parts of your land. Leasehold. A leasehold is a property interest given to a tenant through a lease agreement. It gives the tenant the right to use and occupy the property for a set period, while the landlord retains ownership. This is common for renters, whether it's an apartment, a house, or even commercial spaces. Leasehold agreements outline the rights and responsibilities of both the landlord and the tenant, such as who handles maintenance and how long the lease lasts. Let's move on to liens. A lien is a legal claim on a property, often used as collateral for a debt. For example, when you take out a mortgage to buy a home, the lender places a lien on the property. This means the lender can legally take possession of the home if you don't repay the loan. Liens can also be placed by contractors for unpaid work or by the government for unpaid taxes. Deed. A deed is the legal document used to transfer ownership of real property from one person to another. There are different types of deeds. For example, a warranty deed guarantees that the title is clear and free of disputes, while a quitclaim deed transfers ownership without any guarantees. Deeds are recorded with the local government to establish public records of ownership. Title. Speaking of deeds, let's talk about title, which refers to legal ownership of property. Having clear title is essential because it confirms your rights to the property and ensures no one else can claim ownership. This is why title insurance is often required during real estate transactions. It protects you from unexpected disputes, such as an unknown lien or an ownership claim by a third party. Zoning laws are another critical aspect of property ownership. These are local government rules that regulate how land can be used. For example, some areas may be zoned for residential use, while others are designated for commercial or industrial purposes. Zoning affects what you can build, how you can use your property, and even how large structures can be. Before buying property, it's important to check zoning laws to ensure your plans align with local regulations. Encumbrance. An encumbrance is any claim or restriction on a property that could impact its use or transferability. This includes things like liens, easements, or restrictive covenants. For example, a restrictive covenant might prevent you from building a fence above a certain height. If you're purchasing property, you'll want to resolve any encumbrances to ensure you have a clear title and full use of the property. Joint tenancy and tenancy in common. When multiple people own a property, there are two common arrangements. joint tenancy, and tenancy in common. In joint tenancy, all owners have equal shares, and if one owner dies, their share automatically passes to the other owners. This is called the right of survivorship. In tenancy in common, each owner can hold unequal shares and transfer their share to anyone they choose, either during their lifetime or through a will. This arrangement is often used for investment properties. Foreclosure. Next, let's talk about foreclosure, a legal process where a lender takes back a property due to the borrower's failure to meet mortgage payments. Foreclosure typically involves selling the property to recover the unpaid debt. It's a serious consequence that can damage credit and lead to financial instability. If you're struggling with mortgage payments, it's best to seek help early to avoid foreclosure.
Covenant. Covenant.
A covenant is a legally enforceable promise or restriction regarding the use of property. For instance, if you live in a neighborhood governed by a homeowners association, you might have covenants that dictate the type of landscaping allowed or the color of your house. Covenants are meant to maintain uniformity in property values but can limit your freedom to make changes.
Adverse possession.
Finally, let's talk about adverse possession, a legal doctrine that allows someone to claim ownership of a property if they use it openly and continuously without the owner's permission for a certain period. This might happen if a neighbor builds a fence that encroaches on your land, and you don't challenge it for years. While rare, adverse possession is a legal way to resolve disputes over neglected property. Conclusion. And that's a wrap. We've covered some of the most important property terms in U.S. law. Whether you're a homeowner, a tenant, or just someone curious about real estate, understanding these terms is essential for navigating the world of property ownership and transactions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more educational content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.